All right, long time no see. Todd and Dan at MMR. We have nationals this week, so we'll be driving down Wednesday. KMC runs on Thursday and Friday. So we're doing a little bit of car prep today, a few maintenance things, but really we've got, I guess, a couple goals today. So we're gonna replace the brake lines that we replaced earlier this season. We threw on just some basic generic rubber ones. We have some braided stainless steel ones from Borschlag Motorsports that we got. I'll just kind of show you here, that are super aggressive. So we've got 4 sets of those for each brake set. And then we're gonna try to add more camber to the front with some larger spacers. Currently we're running 1-inch spacers. We're gonna add 2-inch spacers now to see if we can like really force out some good camber in the front.
Actually, it's 1.5.
Oh, is it 1.5?
1.5. So we were limited. Our camber was limited because our tire would lean over and hit the strut. So we're gonna move the tire out, try to lean it over a little bit more. That should give us just a little bit more camber. I don't know if that's what's limiting us, but it feels like we're limited on like turn in and front end grip.
And do you also want to adjust the front sway bar?
Yeah, also we're gonna stiffen. We're in the middle hole of the adjustable sway bar, so we're gonna move to the outer hole. No, center hole or closer hole. Yeah.
Yes, we've got an adjustable front sway bar from White Line Motorsports that we put on earlier this season. We just put it, I think, in the center setting.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really know what we wanted. So now that we've driven the car for multiple events, we have a good sense of what we need. So we're gonna do that with the new spacers to kind of get a better front end setup. And then I'll kind of rotate the camera real quick. So we took all tires off, and you'll kind of see.
So these are our fronts. The inside edge, a little bit more worn than the back inside edge. Outside looks similar to me.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly more outside wear on the back. So we're talking about swapping them for nationals. We're gonna make a bunch of changes right before nationals, and it's not gonna be great,
Yeah.
but it's all a learning experience. So.
And these are Falken RT660s. So we put these on brand new before the very first event of the year, and I've loved them. They've been wearing great, and we haven't really had any like overheating issues. Obviously, there's been a couple events this summer that have been super hot, and we've been spraying them down, which has helped. And they've beaded like you would normally see like a third wear 200 tire do. But I mean, we've been really fast on them. So I think even though we've had multiple events on them, we're both confident that they'll handle well at nationals. So.
Yep. And you talked about brake lines already.
Oh yeah, I just showed that one, but talk about it a little more.
So was it our last video?
Yeah, I think our last
recent
major
video, we had a brake line failure in the right rear. We swapped in just factory replacements just because we had an event. I think it was the next day or the day after or a week after or something.
Yeah.
But we went ahead and these are from Borschlag.
Yep.
And they are a lot better than the factory.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them. Todd can speak a little bit about them, but they're supposed to be direct replacements. They look good. They look exactly like the factory bracketry and blocks and stuff, but hopefully the lines are a lot better.
Yeah. So I think we had braided stainless steel lines before, but I think the geometry on them was just so aggressive that they were pinching in the back, so they just naturally wore over time. And these from Borschlag are more expensive. You're not gonna. I mean, I think that we spent well over $200 on these lines, but I think they pride themselves in kind of mimicking the OEM lines as much as possible, so you don't have any issues with fit or placement of them. So.
And then we're gonna swap in.
Oh yeah.
Not swap in, but add a little bit more because we're gonna lose some brake fluid doing the changeover. Then we're gonna bleed. We had some, I would say, squishy pedal feel.
Yeah.
Like there was some bubble or air in it in the line still. So we're gonna rebleed them in the process of doing this. Hopefully that'll take that out and we'll feel more confident in our brakes when we go to nationals.
Yeah. So all in all, just a fairly straightforward work day, but we're both pretty hopeful this will improve the feel overall for the car. So we'll get going. Okay, we got the first brake line in the back off. You can see it's just this like basic brake line that we put on in a quick hurry when we had that one break on the event. So you'll see that this guy back here is the new Borschlag line that's super, super sturdy. So Went in fairly easy. You'll see that Dan's in the process of getting the other line back off, and then we'll just swap over for this guy. So, making good progress. Okay, so we took a break from brake lines to make the adjustments on this front sway bar.
We've got the rear brake lines done.
Yeah.
And we
So
moved up
Dan,
the
kind
front.
of talk us through our thought process on like what we're adjusting here and why.
All right, so we have adjustable sway bar and adjustable end links. What we did, we actually have a four hole adjustable sway bar. We didn't realize that. These are advertised as 33 millimeter sway bars, and after some research, we realized that White Line establishes that diameter based on using the second hole from the end. And we were actually running in softest setting, which made it a 32 millimeter bar, and that's based on whatever their logic is. I don't know how to explain that. I just know what they say. What we're going to do is move it 2 up. We're going to go into the 34 millimeter hole. So that should be quite a substantial change. And then we'll watch it. If we feel like we need more stiff up front, we can adjust that on the track. It's not easy to do, but you can do it with some Rams or some Jacksons, actually.
Yeah.
I was reading an article of some random guy it was a 5.0 S197, but he was running the three hole adjustable sway bar up front, and he found that he had to run full stiff and go to stiffer springs. So it seems like just stiff is what you need up here. We do not have adjustable rear. I think we're still running the GT rear, factory GT rear. We were
Yes.
talking about going to the V6 rear, just to,
Yeah.
even smaller bar.
Which is
Hopefully.
counterintuitive, but
You want the sway bar, the stiffer sway bar will result in lower traction when the car is cornering, and because it's solid rear axle, you really don't want to try to pick up the outside tire or push down on the outside tire. I don't remember what it's doing. You really want it to kind of do its own thing to keep as much traction as possible.
right.
We'll see how it feels once we stiffen up the front. If we then are pushing real bad, we will either drop the sway bar in the rear, go to a V6 sway bar, or maybe even no sway bar if we're feeling froggy. Probably not smart.
Yeah. So
Or just go back to one setting softer on the front sway bar.
yeah, our buddy Casey Stump at Restless Performance had a S97 V6 that he fixed up, and he's actually got a leftover sway bar that we may buy from him if we're wanting to do the swap at some point. But
Just found our panhard bar was loose.
oh gosh,
The jam nut.
that's fun.
So we'll re-Loctite that. That's crazy. Apparently trailering these cars, there's a lot of vibration through them.
Okay. Okay, Loctited. That should be good now.
We have a
Okay, so we got one of the new 1.5-inch spacers on. So nothing too fancy about that. I think what we put them on, we were a little worried because you can see we've already shaved off.
the stock studs.
Yeah, the stock spokes when we did the big coilover and inch spacer install earlier this season, but they fit okay. We torqued these down to 100 foot-pounds, and we just fit the wheel on. It looks like we've got good clearance in the back, so I don't think I'm missing anything, Dane, am I?
No, we had about a 1/2 inch clearance to the strut, from the rim to the strut before. Then we put a half an inch wider spacer on there. Now we have about a full inch of clearance. And what that's going to do is, you might have to come in here. We've got the factory camber adjustment. This is a slotted hole where this bolt goes through, and we're all the way up. basically, standing the wheel up, because if when we tried to lean it over, it would rub right here. So now we've got more clearance here. We're gonna lean this hub face back, get more camber, and hopefully not have to not have any rubbing there anymore. But we're about to find out.
Yeah. So you see, these are NCS coilovers we had built by Borschlag again. So really just trying to force as much camber out of the car as we can, because more camber equals more grip.
Is that front bar still?
No. Also, for the sake of weight savings, not really, but we tore off these wheel well covers that were kind of already getting eaten alive from our wider tires and our cambered stance. So tore those off on both sides. I mean, it opens up the front here, and I imagine that we're gonna get all sorts of shit kind of tucked under that front splitter, but race car, yeah. So every ounce counts or something. So maybe keep those for a later project if we need them. But Dan is finishing up last brake line. So getting close. After we're done with this, we'll probably throw the tires back on the front and the rear, and should be good, I think. Unless I'm missing anything.
Nope.
Okay, brake lines are in, tires are back on. You can kind of probably hear the car. I mean, I'll kind of show you what it looks like, but so much camber. I mean, she's super squatted, and you can see, oh my God.
She's laid all the way over.
Yeah, so much camber in the front now. I mean, that's what we want. So it'll be interesting to see.
Man, the back right's so high.
Yeah, what Dane was just saying, we threw on the world's most expensive coilover set onto this car, thinking it would like slam the car.
Raise up the right height.
What?
Thinking we would have to raise the right height.
Yeah,
But that's as low as it goes.
Yeah, that's as low as we can get the back. So if anyone watching this, out of the 25 of you, if you know how to fix that, I mean, we've got a really aggressive spring back there, so maybe we could get like a less aggressive one and it would lower some, but.
Do we have a 9-inch spring back there?
I think so. Heck, I mean,
I need a shorter spring.
yeah, I'd have to look. But, I mean, she's back together, so solid day in the shop. I'm pretty excited to see how this impacts our drivability. So, man, look at that. That's so crazy. But cool. Yeah, Dan and I have, I guess at this point, just like a long laundry list of stuff that we got to make sure we put in the trailer. So we're good to go when we get to nationals. So obviously we're going to be driving like 3.5 hours or so up from Kansas City to Lincoln. So we really got to just be prepared and make sure that we have like every tool we could possibly need and things of that nature. So if anything does go wrong, and knowing our luck will go wrong, we have everything we need there to fix it. So that we're going to be doing that the rest of the day, just making sure we're all good to go. So Wednesday afternoon we can kind of take off and hit the road. So we'll obviously be posting a long video about nationals, kind of the process and how we do and what our thoughts are. This is our first time, obviously, so fairly new race team. So I'm just excited to see the difference between here and, or I guess, nationals and regionals, things of that nature. So thank you guys for watching. We'll be posting some videos soon. I know we haven't posted a video in a while, but hopefully before you see this, I'll get around to editing and throw a bunch on there from the last couple of events and some other small projects we've been doing. So thank you guys, and we'll catch up soon.